Okay. Yep. Yep. That's amazing. That really is amazing. All right. We're going to be starting un momento. What another beautiful day. Folks, good afternoon. Yes, here we go. There's Ryan. There's Ryan. Two Ryans. There's my friend Jane Rice. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, on what is just a beautiful Tuesday. What a nice week this is. God is good. Yes, 12:04. We're starting in 2 minutes. Last night I was actually out and we were ready to roll, and then it was thundering and lightning, and the next thing you know, I'm like, well, forget this. I mean, road patrol is not enjoyable if in the rain, let alone thunder and lightning. Thunder and lightning. So we didn't do it last night. We did not, but it should be good to go for tonight. Should be good to go for tonight. Um, okay, and we are live, and we're live in 2 minutes. Yes. Now let me just checking all the platforms. We have a number of things to touch on this Tuesday. Bring you up to speed on the latest. Interesting. And let me find that. Okay, here we go. Hola. Yes. Audio is good, and we're ready to roll. All right, 1 minute out. 1 minute out. Folks, we have nice merch. Posted that. Also, the amount of uproar because I posted video of I had a meeting with someone, spoke, I walked back to my car and filmed as I went along. The outrage over that is really, really remarkable. All right, we're live in just a moment. Just a moment. Yes. As soon as JR gives me the go ahead, we're good to go. And we are good to go at 12:06 on this Tuesday, August 13th. Folks, you're listening to the John DePetro Show. This is the real news at noon. You're on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. You can listen online at the website, depetro.com. This portion of the program is we kick off the real news at noon. Yes, we are live, AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. Yes, you can listen. Is that true? You can listen online at the website, depetro.com. Yes. Again, yes. Yes, you can watch and listen, interact with others on Facebook, X, and YouTube. All true. Utilize all programs. Folks, this portion of the program brought to you by PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. They have great locally sourced vegetables, sweet corn, native tomatoes. They have it all. Stop it and see them. 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. Steve, Debbie, Jr., and Byron. They are a full-scale nursery and everything you need to have your home or business a showstopper. Plus, screen loom and mulch are available. They have annuals, perennials. They've had a fantastic season, and they just keep getting better and better. And the quality is great. The service that they implement, family-run business. Small business is the backbone of our state, of any community, of our economy. Stop it and see them. My friends, Steve and Debbie and Junior and Byron, 3688 Quaker Lane in North Kingstown. It's PR Landscape Materials and Garden Center. Well, folks, good afternoon on what is yet again. I feel bad for those that were on vacation last week, but in fact, this week, if you're off, I mean, it's just terrific weather, very comfortable weather. We got rained out on road patrol last night. It was just going to be so stormy. And then at the end of it, see, I always then judge and I check who our competitors are. And our competitors, when we're out doing road patrol, is essentially the local NBC affiliate known as NBC 10, and then also the local CBS affiliate known as WPRI Channel 12, sometimes Channel 6, nothing against them. So what I do is I then monitor and I say, okay, did they have a story that we did not have? And the answer is no. So I didn't like that we were rained out, but then it's a sigh of relief that then we didn't miss anything. But we will be out later tonight. Folks, this portion of the program brought to you by the Cowesett Inn, 226 Cowesett Avenue, West Warwick. Lunch, dinner, drinks, and lounge. They're waiting for you. Stop in. Plus, they have the market at Cowesett, the Cowesett Inn. You know, in mentioning, and I want to just touch on, I'm going to talk about the race for the White House and where Rhode Island breaks out. But I want to go through, I don't know, I'm going to call this kind of some random thoughts, starting with on Sunday night, we were doing road patrol, and then we kind of underestimated, or at least I did. I'll take it. Remember, the blame always falls with me. I mean, sometimes it's my fault, sometimes it's not my fault, but ultimately, all the accountability falls on the chosen one. I know that. I accept that. But if you saw any of our coverage on Sunday night, it was the Dominican Festival. And, you know, traffic, I caught a bad break going down 80th Street. It's just one of those things. But anyhow, so yesterday morning, there's someone that I deal with, and someone that's been very useful to me and helpful. And we had agreed to meet, and we did. And as I was walking back to my car on Broad Street in, let's see, I guess that's South Providence. I think it's almost Washington Park, because it's right near Roger Williams Park. So it's on the line of Washington Park and South Providence. And as I was walking along, I filmed and I posted it. No commentary. I'm not saying anything. I just film as I'm walking along. And one of the things you saw was there was a tremendous amount of trash. And now, in fairness, the Smiley administration, they've done a much better job cleaning that stuff up. And when I was then leaving and going through Roger Williams Park, they had park workers out picking stuff up. The city did their part. A lot of the trash is seemingly around some of the businesses there. But anyhow, so I posted the video. I wasn't commenting about it. I wasn't various people. When I can't believe the outrage and the reaction to what did I do? I walked and filmed as I was walking along. And the nightclubs, I think they were closed at 1:00. I could be wrong. I normally on a Sunday night, I don't know if because of the holiday weekend, they allowed them to stay open till 2 a.m. But and some of the comments, oh, what is this narrative? And that is, I like one of my favorites is, well, that's a racial perception is reality. If someone posted, oh, look at, there's the sunset behind the State House. What is it? It's a photo. It's a picture. It is a snapshot. It's a moment in time. What is wrong with this? Is the next morning, and these businesses should not be allowed. They don't have to have their parking lots like that before they leave for the night. I worked in a nightclub many years ago, but I did, and they could send people out and say, we're not leaving until there was full bottles and everything else. And then you get a dumpster, whatever. But the outrage of that, and as a result of that, I've had someone reach out to me, and you need to point. I love when the people give me content direction, right? I mean, actually, I'm being facetious. Actually, I don't like it at all. I'm amused by it in some way. Here's what you should be highlighting the good things that are going on, and you should be. My reaction, I've heard that stuff before, and my reaction remains consistent, which is, see, the beauty of this is you're free, whoever you are, you're free to do your content, and then I'm free to do my content. I like to do content that I'm interested in. I don't do content that I'm not interested in. It doesn't work that way. So if somebody wants to do, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about content. And those of you that watch Juan on the Scene, Road Patrol, I have an interest in crime. I've learned a lot about it by doing it. Our coverage gets better of it. I like covering crime. I wish there was more of it, as a matter of fact. It just isn't. But if there's someone, another media, so to speak, if well, not so to speak, but another media, if they want to do, oh, we're going to do a series on who has the best clam cakes in Rhode, fine, absolutely, go right ahead. If you want to do, if somebody, and there are people that do this, I'm going to do some video on fun walks to take. Terrific. You see, I don't like, I don't care about that stuff. It has no interest to me. I have the unique situation. I cover things that I'm interested in. If there's other people that are interested in it, then fantastic. 2 years ago, there was someone, I won't mention any names, but this was 2 years ago, and there was someone that was saying, and I love the way I mean, it was so preposterous. Like, I challenge you, to find more positive things, and we need to lift people up, and I'm going to do a show about positivity and people over politics and positivity. And that concept he had lasted about 5 months. So, but again, he's free to do it. And much like, I mean, I think I will go. There's someone that reached out to me. First of all, they reached out to me after they posted this thing of how dare I, and why don't you cover crime in the I will, those of you that watch, I'll cover crime wherever there's crime. First of all, I have spent more time in Cranston than any other city, mainly because of my work with the Cranston Police. I've spent more time in Warwick than any other city, mainly because of starting with the Charlotte Lester case. We go to Coventry when there's something. We've been to West Warwick. We've been to Woonsocket. We've been to North. Last week we were in North Providence with the standoff. We were down, I'll go to the Block Island Ferry. We've been in North Kingstown. We've been in Borington. We were in East Providence a week ago. It's I don't know how else to explain it. I'm not doing a community focus of who's got the best recipes and that fluff BS. I have no interest in it. If there are people that have an interest in it, terrific, fantastic. I'm on TikTok. I see videos on TikTok. I don't get it. Sometimes it's someone young and they're just like mouthing the words from a movie or a TV show, and it's got 3 million views. I don't get it, but I'm not the target audience. I don't begrudge it. I don't say they should not be doing that. I put out my content. They put out their content, whatever. It's like the people that watch like the Real Housewives. I don't watch those shows. I have no interest in it. People watch it. I don't tell them they shouldn't do it. I just have no interest in it. But there's obviously an audience for it because they've been on, they continue to be on. There's various sports. I don't watch NASCAR. I don't begrudge it. Obviously, it's hugely popular. It's really popular in the South. Whatever. But I don't get these people that feel they should tell me. Some guy was going after me online and saying, I didn't see you at the stabbing at the St. Mary's feast. First of all, it was a shooting, number one. Number two, I was the first one on scene. I was there till 1:30 in the morning. Listen, here's the bottom line. They have no idea what they're talking about. So this business of I do a show on crime. Well, I love these people. You should highlight some of the good you can do that. You can do that type of stuff. I don't care about that type of stuff. I'm going to concede. You can have all of that stuff. You can do nature walks. You can do, these people, you should talk about you can do that. Why do I have to do it? I have no interest in it. I don't care about blanking Johnny cakes. I don't care about clam cakes. I don't care about quahogs. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm familiar with it, but that content gives me no interest. So why do I have to do, like, these people? They're so outspoken. This other person, I won't say who it was, like, you should be doing who are you to tell me what type of content I should, then you do it. Like, it's not a Hollywood producer telling me. It's someone that doesn't even do this. This one guy, I mean, I said I would maybe talk to him. He's like, you need to talk to me. Yeah, I love the word. I need to talk to you. You know what else? I want to touch on this. Some of these Trump people, locally, by the way, that are complaining. But this portion of the program, folks, it's brought to you by FenceRI.com. Listen, long-term quality solutions for your yard. Call FenceRI.com. 401-732-0555. 401-732-0555. FenceRI.com. Premier fence and deck contractor. Quality, communication, and value. FenceRI.com. 401-732-0555. Now, with FenceRI.com, $200 discount if you mention the chosen one. Wood deck construction, licensed and insured, 5-star rating with Google, whether it's for a pool, whether it's for a pet, maybe it's for security, maybe it's for privacy. FenceRI.com, the most Rhode Island name and logo. Where can you find them online? Their Facebook page, find them, FenceRI.com, and online at FenceRI.com, or call them at 401-732-0555. 401-732-0555. If you're thinking of having a fence installed or a deck, put them in the mix. Let them earn your business, FenceRI.com. By the way, now, before I forget, I want to thank my good friend Angelo. I met up with him this morning, and he gave me, I can't wait, I'm going to have a tomato sandwich, wonderful tomatoes that he grew in his garden, plus some delicious peaches, and plus some of his homemade wine. So Angelo, valued member of our Team One family, he and Pam Marie are just so fantastic. He is the mayor and king of Silver Lake. I want to thank my friend Angelo. Now, I want to just touch on, obviously, you know, President Trump, hey, listen, he is revamping things. And I think it's a positive. If you think he's going to win in a landslide, you're not paying attention. If you think he is going to, and by the way, I should give, since this is basically a 2024 update, brought to you by Propane Plus. Propane Plus, sponsor of Race for the White House, 401-885-4209. In Massachusetts, heating and cooling, 508-252-3359. Propane Plus, residential commercial. President Trump should win this election. We need President Trump to win this election. I mean, we desperately need President Trump to win the election. I'm encouraged that I believe, as I've talked about, I think they're recalibrating. No one said it's fair. But last night, first of all, he's back on X, which is Twitter, which I think is positive, number one. Number two, he did do 2 hours with Elon Musk last night. Now, I did think it was funny that because of the way that their audio is not 100%. And as someone that's in the audio business, I know he didn't like it, but I was actually laughing that when I did tune in, that he did, and it's not him, that he had a little bit of a lisp. So now, when I was experimenting with doing the streaming back in the wintertime. So when we do Road Patrol, those on Facebook get their own device. And then we also do, not all the time, but most of the time, we do X and YouTube, and now they get their own device. I found that when I would do the three of them, that I started to, it sounded like when you were listening to me, that I had a little bit of a lisp, suffering succotash type of thing. So I'm familiar with it. So something wasn't processing properly. I work with two people that are excellent at audio. Number one is Jeff Camacho, has an incredible ear, and then number two is JR. But I also, from working for so long, when you work in audio, I can pick things up very clearly. And the moment I heard that, when I would play back some of the videos for me this past wintertime, and I'm listening to myself speaking with a lisp, I realized that the audio was not processing properly. So thus we went to the separate devices. So, but last night when I heard that, instead he was being characterized as that he he either sounded that he was slurring his words, or it is an audio compression issue. It is. But if you heard it last night, and I was laughing about it, he did sound like he had a lisp. And let me just play this. Like, listen, I find that this is funny. I mean, I know the Trump people have no sense of humor, but I actually find that. Let me just hear this.
Voices that, because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people, and it's an honor. We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices. Usually those are voices that, because I see you broke every
Now,
record
again,
in the
it's
book
not him.
with so many millions of people, and it's an honor. We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices.
Come on. So what? The way the audio compression was, it sounded like he had a lisp.
And, that was the big thing.
Let me hear.
Obviously, everybody understands that it's somebody that building should have been covered. And that was the big thing. Obviously, everybody understands that it's somebody that building should have been covered.
Come on. I mean, I was laughing at myself when I would hear the lisp. And when I really picked up on it, I was in front of that liquor store on Cranston Street. And I was saying, what did I say? If I go back, I could find it. But I was saying something like, "What's on sale?" or something like that. Listen, I didn't talk that way. It was just the audio compression. These people, like, how do you not? How do you not find that funny? Of course, he doesn't sound that way. He doesn't have a lisp.
We view that as an honor. Record in the book with so many millions of people, and it's an honor. We view that as an honor.
All right, I want to touch on. I don't know. Listen, I mean, if you can't find there's humor in that. God, for crying out loud, I was dying. First of all, it was all right. He's going to be out there. He's recalibrating. I also want to find out. I had this earlier, and I should have. I don't think I retweeted it, but they brought someone new back into the mix. Who, by the way, I also just want to mention. Boston Globe. Rhode Island reaches tentative 3-year contracts with state workers, agreed, providing raises of 5%, 4%, 3%. And everything's always then retroactive. I mean, it's just such a joke. It is absolutely a joke how he just keeps throwing our money out there. Hold on. I also wanted to see, where is the Tony Silva? Gina Raimondo is going to be a featured guest at Hampton's fundraiser. Hey, listen, she can't stand Harris, but that's politics. That is politics. Politics is that she's, that's just the way it shook out. And is Raimondo, is she really, well, maybe if she's like, I could maybe be head of the Treasury. And it's very possible that I can't believe I can't find it now. Well, anyhow, they are in fact revamping things, and he's moving some things around. He has to. His schedule is going to change. He's going to up the campaigning, and you can't just stay like this. And I'll also say this. I mean, no one said that it's fear that they switched out but that's just the way it is. So are you going to lose? Are you going to lose because then you keep saying it's unfair because they switched in Biden? Now I can't find it. All right, it's my own fault. I mean, I saw it earlier, and they are bringing someone back, and now I can't remember who it was. Who had worked on the campaign, and they're changing some things, or some various people are making some changes with the super PAC that they have. But let me be very clear. If you think that this is an automatic election, then you're just not paying attention. Now, I want to stay on schedule. Folks, this portion of the program is brought to you by, remember, AJ Home Improvement, 401-323-9252. Frame to finish basements, acoustical ceilings. If you want to add on, I mean, they could build you a brand new home. They're that talented. But whether it's a new home, an addition, commercial rehab, painting, remodeling, they can do it all. AJ Drywall Plasters Home Improvement. Call them today, 401-323-9252. Again, call them and put them in the mix. If you're thinking of having some work done on your home, call AJ Home Improvement, 401-323-9252. 401-323-9252. New homes, additions, commercial rehabs, painting, remodeling, they could do it all. Maybe you have an unfinished garage or basement. AJ Home Improvement, 401-323-9252. You know, I've mentioned in California, especially the LA area, these so-called, it's like people converting a garage, or they call it a granny flat. There's a lot of people, because housing is so scarce. In Rhode Island, it sure seems as though they're going to start to allow this, where what they do is, I know on the West Coast that you'll see, okay, there's the main home, and then you'll see there's a smaller little dwelling in the backyard, but it's not a garage. They just built, and many times that's actually where the owner lives. So you have these older people, and they rent out their home, and then they basically live in their own backyard. And then they pick, or maybe they have their children live there. So now the family's on the lot. I think Rhode Island is going to do that. And so you could contact them. Now, I want to talk about what I see is some complaining about, and I saw this, and I go back and forth on whether or not to say anything. But these people that are trying to do Trump stuff in Rhode Island. And therefore, that's an update on the race, and it's brought to you by J. Perry Paving. Call them today. You've been thinking, hey, you'd like to get your driveway paved. Call J. Perry Paving today, 401-732-1730. For your driveway, for your parking lot. Remember, if you're a veteran or you're related to a veteran, no one has a better package for veterans than J. Perry Paving. Call them, 401-732-1730, 401-732-1730, letter J. Perry Paving, high quality, fair pricing, free estimate. Letter J, J. Perry Paving, 401-732-1730. Now, right now, there were people out there that believe that President Trump could win Rhode Island. And then I start to see these people, we're going to get out there and we're going to raise awareness and blah, blah, blah. Now, there's a couple things about that. I want to be very clear. To me, you have to deal in reality, and then you can't just blow off all numbers. And so many people, it doesn't behoove him to come and campaign in our area of the country, whether people like that or not. It just doesn't. They have to be, especially with this type of campaign and for how close it's going to be. It wouldn't make sense. They have to be in the battleground states. And I see people. Now, there's a group of people that over the weekend, and they have flags, and they stand out. And I saw someone, how come, we didn't get coverage of this, and the media didn't come and film us doing this? Well, listen, I know some of the people involved, and some of my questions are you only doing it to then get on TV? Is that why you're doing it? To get on TV? Are you doing it so then you can say, hey, look, I'm on Channel 10. I'm on Channel 12. So is that why you're doing that? Or are you, what is the goal of that? I'll tell you what I believe should happen. And this is a constant thing. They complain they're not getting any coverage. Now, for anyone, I voted for President Trump in 2016. I voted for President Trump in 2020. I'm voting in November for Trump Vance. I say that. We had on Sheriff Tom Hodson, head of the Trump campaign in Massachusetts. I have a question. Who's the head of the Trump campaign in Rhode Island? I don't know who is the head of the Trump campaign in Rhode Island. They certainly haven't contacted me. They certainly haven't said, hey, we'd like to be out there and make the rounds. I don't know who that person is. I can tell you that there were people that say, I think he won Rhode Island in 2016, even though he didn't. I know there are people that say, I think he won in 2020, even though he did not. Listen, it's you for anyone that says that and thinks that, You have to look at the way the state is laid out. And people on the East Bay, half of the state, when you get into East Providence, Barrington, Bristol, Warren, Portsmouth, Middletown, Newport, Jamestown, Narragansett, guess what? All blue, very blue. If you look at the way the state breaks out, you have pockets of red, mostly in the northwest corner of the state and the southwest corner of the state. But by and large, you do have pockets. Johnston, President Trump does very well. Parts of Cranston, President Trump does very well. And then parts of Woonsocket, President Trump does well. Lincoln, Smithfield, North Smithfield, President Trump does very well. But the people that are pointing that out are ignoring the fact that it's then a sea of blue on the whole East Bay. But this is so a couple of things about those people who, I'll be honest, I try to deal in reality, in what's to be gained by this, what's to be generated by this. I don't see they're not working in conjunction with the Rhode Island Republican Party. And I'm not going to use this to beat up the Rhode Island Republican Party, but I don't see people working together. Okay, so a bunch of people stood out at Johnson Town Hall and waved flags. I don't know. Is that effective? Is it not effective? Is that having any indent? Is that making any gains just by having a presence? Or is it people that just want to stand around and wear Trump hats and wave flags? And my thing is, it just becomes like a club. It's really no different than people that just go down and it's like they're flying a kite, right? You go down to Beavertail or parts of Newport, you go to certain those areas to see the people. They have a club and they have these incredible kites, as a matter of fact, and they fly the kites up and people come and look. I mean, it's a hobby. They're not accomplishing anything, but they're not trying to accomplish anything. Brenton Point, but they're flying kites. And so what I don't see is I don't see any candidates out with the people. So now I know the people that are involved, and all they do is complain. Do they reach out to me and say, how do you suggest we get some earned media? How do we get some free publicity and free media? And I would share, but they don't do that. They just complain. But then again, it comes down to what are you gaining here? What's the goal? Is the goal to be on the 6 o'clock news? Or is the goal to try to build more support? I'd give free advice. It has to be done in conjunction with the Rhode Island Republican Party. I don't see anything like that. They should have candidates there. They should go to areas where there are candidates running. They should go to so-and-so is running against Seth Magaziner in the 2nd District. So that person should be there and should invite people to come out, tie it in with a candidate. If you want change in the state, they have to get more Republicans elected. Or then do it with, I don't even know if there's anyone running against Gabe Amo. I'm not convinced that there are. But there are people that are running for office. So then go to where they are and then invite them to stand with you and then try to build attention. But otherwise, it's like people that are just flying kites. When I run and walk, I saw that I'm not going to name any names, obviously, but there's these people who they have these dogs, and there's like a big field. And if they wanted to, and they have the dogs do tricks and they throw frisbees and blah, 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 and that type of thing. If they wanted to, they could go to a section of the field where they could just do this and have privacy or just enjoy whatever they do. But they don't do that. They go right in the middle that everyone can see them, because that's like their way of performing, where they do it, which is, again, there's nothing wrong with it. They're not committing a crime. I mean, whatever. But like, what's the goal of it? So the people that are complaining, I come back to what's being accomplished there. Is there anyone there taking down names? Is there money being raised? All of these gatherings should have collection of names. Should be even if everybody gives $1, if everybody gives $5, then at least you're generating some money for something, or signing up names and building a database. But it's until it moves away from just people that want to say, oh, you got to see, that's me. See those people standing on the overpass waving flags? That's me. So what? You didn't accomplish anything. You're not. So what? Then people go by and honk. I don't see how that helps the state. The only way this state is going to be helped is if, in fact, more Republicans get elected, more independents or Republicans get elected and have a larger voice. I don't see any way that benefits the people that are running locally. And I am, it is, now I'll say this in defense of those people, because it comes up every 4 years. It happened in 2016. It happened in 2020, where for whatever reason, the Rhode Island Republican Party does not embrace the enthusiasm. They don't embrace the energy. They don't embrace the bodies. They're not working together. It should be a coordinated effort. It should be, in building a network of people. But there's got to be more than just flying kites. You need to get the names of people. You need to build campaign workers. You need to get people elected. Now, folks, this portion of the program, if you're thinking of trading in your vehicle, getting another vehicle, I want you to see my friend Paul Staskavich and Stephen, who's the mechanic, Volare Motors, 1003 Park Avenue in Cranston, right in the center of Cranston. Great prices, great vehicles, great service. Volare Motors in Cranston, New England's #1 dealer in pre-owned Volvo sales and service. They specialize in Volvo sales and service. They stock all types of Volvo, Ford trucks. You can call them at 401-942-9568. Volare Motors. They specialize in Volvo sales and service, selling quality used cars. Largest selection of Volvos in Rhode Island. It's Volare Motors. 401-942-9568. 401-952-9568. Stop in and see them. Volare Motors, 27 years of specialized Volvo sales and service right there. 1003 Park Avenue in Cranston. Pop in. See Paul. Maybe trade in your vehicle at Volare Motors. Family owned and operated. Great pride in building long-lasting relationships. It's Volare Motors. And by the way, they have all different types of vehicles. But stop in and see Paul. And remember, the key is he's got the great mechanic with Stephen. Well, folks, good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePietro Show on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. Yes, we'll be doing Road Patrol Live later. Now, I'll mention that, once again, our local media is ramping up and going after Lincoln police say they found a loaded gun inside a vehicle while making a DUI stop over the weekend. Folks, this is the type of danger that our local police deal with. So you have this person, they found a loaded gun making a DUI stop over the weekend. A Ford F-150 stopped in the middle of the road in front of a local bar on Summer Street. The department claims the vehicle then performed a burnout before officers tried to stop the vehicle. Police claim he didn't stop, pulled into a parking lot of a cafe, then couldn't get back, but then couldn't back into a parking space. The driver smelled of alcohol, flushed red face, bloodshot eyes. 38-year-old Robert Pinardi of North Smithfield failed the breath test. During the arrest, he tried to re-enter the vehicle, and what did they find inside? A loaded semi-automatic Ruger 45 caliber pistol. Charged with DUI and carrying a weapon under the influence. This is the type of thing that police deal with. Now, Channel 10 Now, Sunday night, there was a situation where police had someone in custody, and people are sharing this video. And oh, look, the Providence police punched a guy in handcuffs. You know, what they're not saying enough is the guy had a gun on him. He had a gun on him, and you know that is the story. Someone had a weapon in a crowd, and the police were trying to get control of him, and he wouldn't be controlled. And so during the course of that, as they're trying to restrain him, one of the officers, you know, did try to get control of him. But what should be the headline here is that he had a loaded weapon on him. I'm telling you, the bashing of our local law enforcement, it's never ending. And the same goes for like Over the Line in Massachusetts. This drumbeat of all the police are corrupt and all the corruption and the Karen Reed and all the police are in on it. It's all a big police cover up and all the cops are corrupt. I can't believe these are the same people that then support President Trump, who is 100% back the blue. Who's the chairman of the Trump campaign in Massachusetts is Sheriff Tom Hodson. But this, you know, what side are you on here? The people that just keeps talking about, oh, it's all police, all cops are corrupt. Now, I was up in Dedham on Friday. Oh, all these cops are corrupt. Oh, cops are corrupt. You're a Harris Vance supporter in my mind. You are. If you keep saying that and thinking that, that's ludicrous. Listen, someone has to do these jobs. And for those of you that watch it, those of you, this is police are once again under attack. And Harris, Vice President Harris, who was in favor of defund the police, she wanted to defund ICE. I mean, what they would do to the country is just absurd. And it would be a complete breakdown of law and order. Let's see. I'm just looking at some headlines. Kamala Harris made to look like Melania. I don't see the connection at all. I know he said that last night with Elon Musk. I think God thought he was joking around. I don't see it. He's at risk of losing Florida. Well, that is not good if, in fact, they're going to lose Florida. Musk MAGA mania. This is what it's going to come down to. Do people really want to win the election, or do they just want to make noise? That's really what has to be decided. Do people want to win the election, or do they just want to make noise? So he chose JD Vance. I'll say this. I don't think JD Vance is the problem. I just wonder if everything that he was going through at that time and there was the aftermath of the assassination, if that was the right time to make a decision. Anyone that, if you've ever had surgery and you're going to be under the influence of all kinds of sedatives and things like that, one of the things they tell you is there can be heightened emotions and to not make any emotional decisions when you're going through that. And we're kind of looking at a situation where he made his choice for VP right on the heels of, you know, he was shot. So I don't see JD Vance as a problem. I believe, and notice there's no talk with President Trump in Rhode Island. I don't even see the Rhode Island Republican Party pushing back on Harris and Vance enough. So this guy, the vice presidential candidate, the governor of Minnesota, who is a Bernie Sanders liberal progressive, he's going to come in here, and they treat Rhode Island like it's an ATM. He's going to whisk in, and they get all excited, and then whisk out, and it's all positive coverage. And Harris is hiding from the media. The vice president, she's not good with sit-down interviews. She's not a serious person. The biggest problem for Harris, the vice president, is she has to defend the Biden administration, and she doesn't want to defend the Biden administration. So what is she doing? She's not doing interviews. She's not doing interviews. She's just doing rallies and then speaking at the rallies, and she's not doing interviews. And right now it's working. And next week is the Democrat convention. So I believe also the Rhode Island Republican Party should not be quiet over the condition of the state and the failed policies. The failed policies of Biden-Harris are the failed policies of McKee and Matos. And that's exactly how it should be framed. Folks, this portion of the program, if you are dealing with foot problems or ankle problems, Greenville Foot and Ankle Specialist, they're right in the Smithfield Medical Center, Route 5 in Smithfield. Beautiful building, ample parking. If you're listening or watching on this Tuesday, and maybe you've been having problems with your foot or your ankle, Greenville Foot and Ankle Specialists, board certified podiatrist. Call them and set up an appointment. 401-949-3220. Or maybe either your spouse or you have a family member, your mom or dad or grandmother, grandfather, whoever is suffering from problems with their feet or ankle. You know, losing the ability to walk around and track that, you know, it takes away your quality of life. Greenville Foot and Ankle Specialist. Many times, same day appointment. 401-949-3220. Located right in the Smithfield Medical Center, Route 5 in Smithfield. They perform all aspects of foot care, from skin conditions, bunions, hammer toe. They treat injuries like fractures and sprains. They take all health insurance. Greenville Foot and Ankle Specialists. Call them today. And remember, foot pain is not normal and should not be ignored. You shouldn't just accept, I guess I can't walk around anymore. Call them and make an appointment. Let them help you. 401-949-3220, Greenville Foot and Ankle Specialist. Well, folks, good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePetro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. You can always listen online at the website, depetro.com. And again, big shout out to my friend Angelo, who said, you know, you seem like you were having a good time at Don Jose's Tequila right there, upscale Mexican cuisine, historic Federal Hill. I was. Believe me, I was. And don't forget, you know, they have the back patio. Today is Taco Tuesday, 3 to 7, $3 tacos. I did the margarita flight. I did the tequila flight. $26.99, 3-course special. And then the brunch on Sunday. Don Jose's Tequila. I love it there. 351 Apples Avenue in Providence. But let me just mention about President Trump and also the situation right now with the media. What you're seeing right now is the media was panicked about President Biden. They were panicked, and they were panicked about President Trump getting in. And so a couple things about that. Number one, I think it's very positive that President Trump is doing the debate with her, and then he's even asked for 2 more debates. I recognize that a lot of people are soured on the media, and I understand that, and I get that. But you can't lump in all media, and all media is not like that, as a matter of fact. And not only is all media not like that, but as I mentioned, right now, Vice President Harris, she would have to sit down and defend a lot of the Biden policies, and she doesn't want to defend the Biden policies. So I know the Trump people are saying that she won't sit down for an interview, and they want to be cautious with it. But right now, she's getting a lot of, as they call it, earned media, which is she does a rally and they cover it. She's in the news. She's getting clips. Her VP candidate is going all over. The Trump people, to me, it's really simple. Just keep bringing it back to the cost of inflation and how he's going to improve the economy. And I believe that if they make the case, and listen, 2020 is gone. You can't change what happened on January 6th. I don't want to hear any talk about Stop the Steal. This is a winnable election. But every time that you start seeing crazy Kamala and talking about Biden, it's a wasted opportunity about how you can improve the economy, how you can improve lives, how President Trump, make no mistake about it, the policies that he would put forward would improve the economy. It would make our country safer. It would make our state safer. It would bring some organization to the United States, and I'm all in favor of that. But you have to make the argument. She did rip off his idea about Nevada. He did. She did. Excuse me. But you have to just. Everyone is like begging the president, meaning President Trump, stop just going down the rabbit hole. Stop talking about Biden. Go after her. They don't have a good record. Look at inflation. Look how expensive things cost. Look at the failed policies in certain states, whether it's Rhode Island or California. I mean, is there anyone that thinks that Rhode Island is better under Governor McKee? I mean, Governor McKee has been, other than his pals down the dial and the radio dial, McKee Matos are a disaster. And the idea that Harris, she doesn't work hard. She's not a serious person. She was chosen because Biden said 4 years ago, first he said, I'm picking a woman, then he said a woman of color. That's how what has she done as vice president? Nothing. But they're trying to create this, she's this brilliant, well-spoken, intelligent woman, and it's her turn, it's her time. And you can't underestimate, there are people that despise President Trump. They do. I think, it's too late now, but if you had a ticket of Nikki Haley and Governor DeSantis, you'd get more independent voters. You'd get more moderate voters. I think if that was the ticket, you can't ignore, President Trump, he brings out a lot of emotions with people, and they're trying to fire up their base and get them out there. I can't believe what would happen if it's Harris Waltz. That's not the right direction for the country. But by all accounts, I mean, the Trump campaign, I am encouraged. They're trying to recalibrate. They are trying to get him out there more. And there seems to be a steady stream of voices that are trying to get him on message and get him talking about the difference in policies between economic policy, between the border, and between law and order, period. Folks, this portion of the program, now last week I did a live stream with our friends at Dreammaker Bath and Kitchen, full service remodeling company. Very serious. If you're serious, you saw firsthand, they are the real deal. Now they have their design center right there, Greenwich Avenue in Warwick, right near Crown Plaza. You can call Dreammaker 401-433-7272. Respect, integrity, customer focus. Dreammaker, transition from dreams to reality. You can look at their video. I shared the live stream. I mean, they are just so knowledgeable and terrific, and they're great people to deal with. Call and set up an appointment at their beautiful design center, Dreammaker, 401-433-7272, and I share their Facebook page. Well, folks, good afternoon. You're listening to the John DePetro Show. It's AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. What do I think of that all the locals are rallying around, that the governor of Minnesota is coming in? This guy he's farther left than Bernie Sanders. He is an extreme progressive. That's their ticket. How President Trump wins this election is people seeing what their policies are. And also, by the way, tying locals into those policies. I don't hear it locally. And I think there needs to be more of a concerted effort nationally, but just locally, I'd like to see more talk about that, because Harris is not qualified to be president. She's not. She's not a serious person. Of course, they're trying to make it like a Hollywood. They're trying to make her the female, Obama. And she's not that. She's not that, as a matter of fact. I think they need to find a way to thread the needle. And as far as the coverage locally, what you have is local media are pushing the people organizing it to get them a sit down with this governor coming in from Minnesota, Governor Walz. So that's what their push is. But I would like to see, and maybe it's wishful thinking, but I'd like to see the Rhode Island Republican Party making a concerted effort to frame what's going on. Look how, I mean, these people, where are they going to have the fundraiser? Supposedly in a Newport mansion. I mean, you want to talk about, like, of course that's where they're going to have it. And of course everything's like your taxpayer money. Are they going to have, why don't they have it on the south side of Providence somewhere? No, they're going to have a big luxurious fundraiser for Harris Walz at one of the Newport mansions. They're not announcing which one, coming up on Thursday, and McKee's going to be there, and blah, blah, blah. I would like to see, we can only hope the Rhode Island Republican Party will make some waves about this. Now, here's what we're going to do on this beautiful Tuesday. It's 12:59. We're going to break for the 1 o'clock news, get you up to speed on the news of the day. Donna Perry, you're going to hear her next hour talk about the selection of the governor of Minnesota and what she thinks President Trump needs to do. It's the John DePietro Show. Another full hour to go. We're back on the other side after the 1 o'clock news. Yes, we're doing Facebook Live later, but right now, let's get you up to speed. All the news of the day back on the other side after the 1 o'clock news.